booties for black girl nerds.
When you hear the name Marlon Wayans, what do you think of? The Wayans brothers? Or maybe you're an OG like me in Living Color? Or maybe white chicks? You think parody, right? You think comedy. But what if I told you Marlon Wayans just needs the right script? What if he's waiting for the right moment? Well, I think his moment has arrived. Universal Pictures just released another trailer for the film Him. And I've got to say, I'm going to go on record and I put this on Threads. I think that this is his moment. I think that this is going to be the performance of his career. When people think of Marlon Wayans and his dramatic bag, if you will, they automatically go back to their memory reservoir of his film called Requiem for a Dream. And it is by far his best dramatic performance yet. But I think that once this film is released in theaters and many people go and see it, I think that this is the film that people will reference in their memory bank of one of the most dramatic films to date of Marlon Wayans' performance. So I wanted to do this video and sort of go back into Marlon Wayans' career as a dramatic actor and also talk about why I think this film could potentially be a good play for him in the dramatic arc of his career and could be a possible awards player. So sit back, relax, and let's go through this journey together. Marlon Wayans grew up in comedy, literally, the youngest of 10 in the legendary Wayans family. And he was raised on sketch shows and slapstick, but comedy especially, Black comedy specifically. And it's always been a survival tool. Beneath the laughs, though, there's usually pain. You always know that sort of kind of trope when it comes to comedians, but comedians really do dramatic and like pain well. Marlon's earliest dramatic turn was in the film Requiem for a Dream, which came out 25 years ago. Can you believe that? In the year 2000. He held his own alongside Jared Leto, Jennifer Connelly, and Ellen Burstyn. And even back then, there were glimpses of something raw, something that was unfiltered. And he wasn't playing the fool. He was showing us how addiction breaks down a man, especially one that is searching for hope. By the way, if you have not seen Requiem for a Dream, shut this video off right now, go watch Requiem for a Dream, and then come back because it's a really, really incredible piece of art. And the film is directed by Darren Aronofsky. So if that has anything to say for it, then enough said. What made Marlon's performance in Requiem for a Dream so effective wasn't that he was just serious. He wasn't just performing grief. He was living inside of it. His character Tyrone was a man that was running from ghosts, the ghosts of his mother, of poverty, of systemic failure. And Wayans played him with this aching stillness, a sharp contrast from the energy that we're used to. But Hollywood didn't bite. Instead of elevating Wayans as a serious actor, he returned to the comedy space. He did not get any accolades or any kind of respect for this performance. I think he's gotten respect among us as fans because, again, when we think of his dramatic performances, when we think of his range as an actor, we immediately go to this performance in Requiem for a Dream. So he has the acting chops. He has shown that. He has demonstrated that. And he will always be recognized by us, the fans, us, the cinephiles, us, the movie nerds out there, for his performance in Requiem for a Dream. It's just a shame that industry-wise, he was not recognized for that performance. But the comedy space, he went back to it. Maybe it was safer there. Maybe it paid better. Of course, he has the weight of the Wayans family to help onboard him onto many of these projects that he worked on in the latter years of his career. And he's known for sketch comedy. So he went back to the bag that paid the bills, which was the comedy bag. But now, over 2 decades later, we've got the movie Him by Universal Pictures. Now, this film is directed by Justin Tipping and produced by Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele's name is very heavily branded with this film, as it should be, because let's keep it a buck. Jordan Peele is a brand at this point, and anything that's got Jordan Peele's name attached to it, people are going to go watch it. Jordan Peele has carved a niche in specifically the genre horror space, so much so that he's become very respected as a filmmaker, not only among fans, but in the industry. Keep in mind, Jordan Peele is an Academy Award winning filmmaker. His film Get Out won an Oscar for Best Screenplay. So he is highly respected in Hollywood and indie industry as a filmmaker. That being said, this is not Jordan's film directorial wise, it is Justin Tipping's film. He is the producer. It's under the Monkey Paw Productions banner. Universal Pictures and Monkey Paw, they have a great relationship. They've had a good relationship since Get Out, and they are together once again for Him. Hollywood loves to be surprised when comedians go dark, but the truth is, funny people often hold the most pain. We've seen it with Robin Williams, we've seen it with Whoopi Goldberg, we've seen it with Eddie Murphy, and Jordan Peele is flipping that horror. The question is, why did it take so long for Marlon Wayans to be taken seriously? Was it the shadow of the family name? Was it a baggage of parody? Or is it the industry's narrow vision for Black actors? Marlon Wayans has done more than just serious work with Requiem for a Dream. He was in the film Respect, starring opposite Jennifer Hudson. He played Ted White, her controlling, domineering, and abusive husband. He played a very deeply flawed man that's charming at first, but ultimately toxic. And it's an emotionally layered role that required restraint and menace. Back in 2020, he was in this Apple TV film called On the Rocks opposite Rashida Jones. He plays Dean. He played her husband in that film. So he played a very subtle, restrained kind of performance in that, and it was very low key and natural. And he didn't really slip into any kind of caricature. So while he wasn't really the central focus, he holds his own in a very grounded and adult story. Going back to the movie Him, it doesn't just challenge what we expect from Marlon, it challenges what we expect from Black male vulnerability. And in doing so, it pushes the conversation forward. Marlon has always had the range. We're just not looking. Him isn't just a movie, it's a moment, one that redefines a career. And maybe, just maybe, if we let go of our old definitions and start seeing the full picture, we will see what Marlon can deliver in this film. So the film actually releases on September the 19th, which it's not lost on me. It's not lost on me. It's sort of right at the cusp at the beginning of awards season. And I think if Universal Pictures plays their cards right, I think if this film does well, box office wise, I think if it's critically received well, there could be, and I know this is a very early conversation to have, but there could be an awards play here for Marlon. And stay with me on this. Stay with me on this on why I think this could be the case. Marlon Wayans has spent most of his career associated with sketch comedy. In Living Color, White Chicks, Scary Movie, right? Him allows him to reintroduce himself as a serious and dramatic actor, a shift that Academy award voters and critics often reward. We've seen this with Robin Williams. We've seen this with Jim Carrey. We've seen this with Adam Sandler. This role signals I'm more than just funny. I can break your heart too. It's an emotionally demanding role. By the way, I've not seen any footage. I've not screened the film. I am basing all of this information off of the trailer, which has really blown me away. And I just think that there are hints of what I know of Marlon's performance in earlier films as a dramatic actor versus what I'm seeing in this trailer that gives me an indication that there's some potential here. Looking at the trailer, it looks like it's a very emotionally demanding role, psychologically layered, emotionally raw, possibly even physically transformative. And these are the kind of roles that get voters' attention because they require vulnerability and control and depth, especially from someone that's known for comedy. And then there's that critical narrative of he surprised us. And award season voters, they thrive on the he surprised us moments. Wayans stepping into this dark, emotionally taxing role after decades of comedy, it gives voters sort of this redemption, reinvention arc, if you will, that they really, really love. So think of Monique in Precious, or Jonah Hill in Moneyball, or even Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems. So these are examples of like comedians that have really shown that they can go from comedy, slapstick to going into these really dark roles. And then there's this cultural genre shift. If him addresses issues like trauma, toxic masculinity, mental health, or race, it intersects timely with cultural conversations that critics and awards voters really gravitate to and often, will reward. If the film is genre bending, like a psychological thriller or a horror with dramatic roots, it could break into categories like Best Actor or even Independent Spirit Awards, like it did for Get Out with Daniel Kaluuya. So I'm not even talking about necessarily Oscar. It could get into that category, but it could get into the Independent Spirit Awards categories. So other awards opportunities could open up for Marlon Wayans in this role. So just keep an open mind with that. And again, Universal Pictures is behind this film. It's not got an A24 or Neon behind it, which would be very helpful, but Universal Pictures did Get Out a Oscar. So I have faith that a huge studio like Universal Pictures could campaign for Marlon if Marlon is brought into the awards conversation. And it's his time. Wayans has been in the industry for 30 years. He's got this legacy appeal when a longtime performer shows this new level of depth. We've seen this literally last year with Demi Moore and The Substance. She got the play, the awards play that she deserved because of her legacy and her long time tenure in this business, and finally got some recognition for her work in another genre film. So, again, this is very early conversations, but it's something that could possibly be a play for Marlon Wayans. So I'm going to wrap up this video, but just wanted to put that out there about him and Marlon Wayans. I just think he has this great dramatic presence as an actor that hasn't really been explored more and really needs to be. He needs to be in more dramatic roles, and hopefully this film opens up those opportunities for him. But Marlon, just one more thing. Bruh, don't, don't, don't do that. Don't do that again, okay? Because we trying to roll with you on this. We trying to be help. We want to root for you. We're rooting for you. So we don't need posts like this, okay? All right, bye.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.